Well, new year, new toys, new opportunities. I've never done an unboxing video before, so I'm gonna do one today. For Christmas, I got this. Bauer dual bevel 10-inch miter saw. I have had the same miter saw for about 25 years. My Delta, you've seen me do several videos with them. And quite frankly, as great as a saw is, I've never had a bad angle on that thing. You've seen me, I have to fight for those angles and really look for them and be super detailed and paying attention. And it's just time to upgrade. I need to be able to saw bigger boards. On that saw, you really can't do anything wider than 6 inches. This will give me a lot more reach. So, for Christmas, I got the gift from my wonderful wife to head to Harbor Freight and try to upgrade a little bit. Is it the top of the line? Nope. Do I need top of the line? I do not. I've been getting by just fine with a 10-inch non-sliding miter saw for 25 years. It's been great. But this will be an upgrade, and there's a lot of neat toys and additional features on this that I just don't have from that older saw. So here we go. I'll try to be fairly deliberate about taking things out one piece at a time and setting them up here for you to see. And upon opening, user manual, it's a stop. The dust catch, the fins, nice and shiny. We love shiny, right? There she is. Pretty much ready to go. And the trick will be getting it out of here, right? One thing to note, I believe the price was $230-ish. And it does not include the blade, so I bought a blade along with it, 10-inch blade. And we'll get her set up here. The trick will be getting it out of the box. There goes something. Okay, so went through the manual a little bit just to get myself familiar with the layout. I understand where all the bevels and everything are, bevel adjustments are. So first thing I'm gonna do is probably obvious, but I'm going to attach the new blade. So like I said before, it doesn't come with a blade, so you purchase the blade at Harbor Freight, and there you are. Nice 10-inch miter saw, adjustable table saw blade. And this is, of course, a combination blade. Felt like that was the best option. 50 tooth, should give us some nice clean cuts, nice thin kerf to it. Okay, so it says first, swing this up, your guard, and we're gonna loosen this until it disengages the guard. There we go. I don't think it needs to come out necessarily. I don't know how I'm gonna get, oh, I see. So once you put it back in, this comes off. When we re-engage it, we'll just tighten that bad boy back up. Right now, guard plate's out of the way. There's a small spindle lock on the back here. See there? They've conveniently given us an Allen wrench or octagonal wrench or hex key stored right in the back. It's got a Phillips head on the other side. I'm gonna hold the spindle lock until it catches. Got the outer flange, outer bolt off. Remove the paraphernalia. This is called the arbor bolt. This is the outer flange, and there's an inner flange, which doesn't need to come off. Goes on there like that. Replace the outer flange. That. Get my bolt started. It's reverse threaded, so getting it to seat is a bit of a trick if you're going the wrong direction. I'll hold my little spindle lock. There it is. Nice and snug. Not gonna make my hands bleed tightening it down, but you definitely want it tight. Okay, I think that's on. Now, Need to re-engage the lock, the blade guard. You kind of have to move that blade guard just enough to let it sit in there. And then this also you need to make sure is nice and snug. Very good twist. And then make sure to put back the Allen key where it belongs, which is way back here. Now, we've got a working saw. Now, it is built to go on a bench, or it can go on a stand, just like I've got over here. And interestingly enough, they give us a little bench, so if you are working on a bench, you can drop this down so that when you're working this, you can tighten down against the table. Ain't that pretty? Here we go, power it up first time. Everything looks like it's in the right place. This is the thing I'm probably most excited about, is the shadow line mechanism. Very cool. Okay, so miter, obviously straight cut, and then of course you can adjust all the way up to 60 degrees this direction, and I believe 50 degrees this direction. All you have to do is thumb down, move, and it's got, I want to say 20 stops in it that are automatic, including the 0, which is right there, locked in nice and tight. Of course, just to be on the safe side, you'd want to lock it down, but that's your miter. Next is the bevel support, or the bevel release. That's loose, that's tight. Loosen it, and you can go this direction. You'll feel it bump up against there, lock it down, and then there's a little release at the very back to bevel the other direction. You're gonna pull it out, and you can bevel the other direction. Dog out for now. That gives me 45, and that way gives me 45, but you hear that click. It means it's automatically gonna stop there. Lock down your bevel, it doesn't go anywhere. Nice and tight. Other features. Each of the fence are adjustable. One maybe slight beef. You really have to tighten these down for those to stick, but that should hold pretty good. Tighten that in. Each of them has stops here. And they do give you this dog stop, which I can sit down and do a stop on that. Awful nice of them. If you want to extend these a little bit, you've got a release there. I want to say that's about 8 inches. Other side does the same thing. Also super nice. This side also has one of the stops. And of course, your dog can pop into the other side just as easily over there. Really, that's kind of it as far as capabilities and features. Again, the shadow guideline is really nice for accuracy, and hopefully that'll help speed things up a little bit. One of the other things that I find particularly compelling is you have a depth gauge, and you simply push this down and you can adjust for here, but that stops your blade from going too deep so that you can do adjusted gates. Or adjusted gauges, so cutting things like rabbits and whatnot. I'll stop right there. Not quite as deep, so a little shallower of a cut. And when you don't want it, simply throw that up, and you're good to go. Lock her up. Tidy up your cord if you're on the move, you're out working. Would have been nice if they'd have figured that out. Back here, here's where they're keeping that extra Allen wrench. Screwdriver, so you're never without it. Just make sure that's nice and snug. It's got a nice rubber gasket fitting in there, so it holds it snug. Hopefully it won't wiggle out too much. So there's your features. I'm sure I'm probably missing something, but those are the ones we'll use the most. You know, I'm not a big one on doing crown molding and whatnot. Those guys are super skilled, but this thing will handle that. So, you know, you can bevel, compound cuts just like that. Ooh, that's tight. That's good. Real good. Let's do a 45. Nope, didn't finish the cut. I keep thinking I have to grab that guard, and my old one I had to. The guard is catching here. I'm not crazy about that, but it did get through it. It's a nice tight 45. I just cut off the fence. That's not going to be good for the blade. So apparently you need to move the fence out when doing this. Shit. Wish I'd have known that. Fortunately, that's aluminum. We'll cut another one and see if I screw up the $20 blade. Well, make sure you pull those fences back, guys. Cut is nice and clean. It looks like we're okay. No damage. Hi, Gregory. All right, let's cut the other one. Go 22.5 again. This time I'll make sure I'm well clear of the blade, which I appear to be. Let's do a compound bevel. Boy, that is nice and smooth. Little tear out here. Guess that's to be expected when you put your blade through an aluminum fence, but yeah, not bad. The only thing I've got to do is get the dust collection set up, and I'll have to print something out or order an adapter. I think I'm just going to print one out, and we're good to go.